Hello face folk, you might have seen the last video of these tapes that I got from the car boot sale last Sunday. You might have heard that one, which is quite entertaining. We'll play more of that. That's got some interesting stuff on it. It's on the B side, which I hadn't heard at the point I made the last video. It's got some interesting stuff about the 1970 Social Welfare Reform Act, or I haven't probably got the name quite right there, but about how that would come into effect and the implications of it. That's quite an interesting listen. That I will video that. I'll probably put it on SoundCloud or something, because it's interesting to hear the opinions of the time and see how in some ways those opinions have varied widely, and in some ways everything stays the same. That's that one. And this one here is this is an interesting thing about these little 3-inch tapes, is that people used to buy these things when tape recording was a bit of a novelty in the 60s and early 70s. They used to buy these 3-inch tapes and they'd send them backwards and forwards by post to each other, so that they'd do sort of voicemail, hey, long before it was actually invented as such. Was that laced up? Yes. And so they'd sort of send a little greeting or a message or a thank you, and then they'd send it across to their departed friends. Departed in the sense of they'd gone away on an aeroplane or something. So that's got one of those exchanges by the sound of it. And there's one family that's South African, from the accent I'm going. Well, they did actually mention places in South Africa, and a place in Eastbourne, I think, was where they'd been staying. So that's that one. That's another one to SoundCloud. And then there's a lot of them. There's a whole series, Sage. If anyone knows that, please tell me. That's to do with recorded, I'd imagine, at University College, Oxford. Going for the gist of it. Not too technical actually. There's some interesting stuff on those. There's a whole series of them. There's 8 tapes, all in sequence. I've only heard one so far, and they'd be worth a listen. But and then that's another one. That was see, some of them aren't even boxed. There's nothing to go on at all. There's another German doctor there talking about stuff. And then there was one final tape, which is this little buddy here, a little mystery tape, another unlabelled one. It's the last one that I'd run through. I'll put it on and play the first side. As you can see, for those people that know reel to reel, that's the second side. And I've just heard the first minute or so. It's a lot faster than the other. It's at 3 3/4 inches per second. It's quite a fast speed for a little tape. So it only lasts 16 minutes or so, the whole rendition. And now this is different to all the others. This is a very much more intimate recording than the others. There's a gentleman here who's obviously in a lot of distress. I'm not really sure what's going to happen here, what it's all about. As I say, I've only heard the first intro to it. Yeah. So anyway, So this gentleman sounds very low. His mother's not too well by the sound of it as well, from the gist I've got from it. There we are. And there's a lot of things going on in his life. Almost sounds like it's a suicide note. I sincerely hope not. But let's play it and find out. I've listened to the first minute, as I say, and really not quite sure what's going to happen. And the other thing is, I'm not even round the... What a pillock! I'm not even round the take-up bougie. There we are. Because that releases the brake to that spool. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going to happen. We'll see. See how it goes. The first bit is completely blank.
Sorry about the run up there, I wasn't paying full attention. But as I was saying, I'm very grateful for all who give me assistance and help. So let's see. Yes, I'm afraid, Margaret, there's much water gone under the bridge since our Torquay days. And many things have happened to me. Some of them I will tell you about, but not on tape. I'll wait until we meet. Joyce and Helen, that's my daughter, who is now 16 and still at school, are at Weston. And as I've already mentioned to you, Joyce having remarried, there is another little daughter, a stepsister for Helen, aged about 4, I think, and she is a sweet little thing. Deborah by name, and of course Helen and Deborah are very fond of each other. I still hear from them and in constant touch, and we're still the best of friends, but because of my condition it just didn't work out, and I'm afraid I've had to accept it. It's unfortunate, but there you are. I miss my mother very much. She was 88 when she died in June last year. We were extremely close, and of course she was the best mother in the world. Really the greatest and dearest friend I've ever had or ever shall have in the earth. She was a great believer and had great faith, and she has, I know, gone to be with the Lord. As I say, I miss her very much, and things now are very, very different. She began to fail when she was 86, about 18 months before she passed away. She caught a chill and a tummy ulcer developed, and really from that she never quite picked up the same, and gradually began to go downhill until about 5 weeks before the end she was really completely bedridden and had lost complete control of everything. Nurses were coming in twice daily, and I arranged with my home health, who came in at night under private contract, to put my mother down for the evening, and I felt that I just had to carry on. There were only the 2 of us here most of the time during the night. I had a night watch at the last, 2 nights a week, but fortunately the night watch was here when Mother passed away, and she came and fetched me. It did enable me to get a couple of nights' rest, which I was greatly in need of. But you know, Margaret, I've discovered that when one is called to do a special job of work, which is a labour of life and love, one is given the strength. It's not of us, it comes from the Lord. And funnily enough, or strangely enough, since Mother's gone and I've been living here all alone, I've found that that strength has gradually waned, and living for oneself as I do is not right. This I know, but at the moment I do not know what I can do about it. Anyway, the Lord will show me in time what His will is for the future and for me. I'm a member of the Methodist Church at Spark Hill. We have about 13 churches in the circuit. Some of them are thriving, others are not so well attended. Ours at Spark Hill is not very well attended. So I feel that it's all the more reason why I must support them. They've been very good to me while I was ill, and also they were very, very good when Mother passed away. And one doesn't forget these things. I have had connections with other churches, and I have a number of Christian friends who belong to other churches. Your mention of Torch Trust, incidentally, you'll be interested to know that I have a friend by the name of Peter Jackson, his wife, and one small son who live about 3 miles from here. He has been a local preacher for a long time, and has recently arranged to join him into helping contact the blind for Torch Trust. And he takes up his new appointment in April. So our prayers for him are indeed that the Lord will bless him. I am in touch with Torch through Peter, of course, and shall be getting their little booklets direct in due course. Reg and Grace, the two singers that I mentioned, who gave up their home and life to serve the Lord, have been now in full-time service for about 7 or 8 years. And Peter Jackson, whom I've just mentioned, was at one time with them as their pianist. He is a very talented and expert pianist, and he used to play for them to sing. But they broke up when Peter got married, and Peter went back into his local preaching part-time, and also took up piano tuning and repairs full-time, which he was actually trained for. He's a grand lad, and so is his wife, a grand lady, and they've been very good to me. Now then, let's see. Oh, see if I can tell you a bit about the syringe. If you can imagine a 2mm hypo syringe of the Smith-Nephew Everett type, you know, as the standard type of syringe dished out on medical prescription, I have modified one in a manner that gives an audible click for each mark. And also the rod has been designed in such a way, the plunger rod that is, designed in such a way that you can feel the marks on the rod with your thumbnail. Thus it enables you to, with the right technique, to measure your own dose, free of air bubbles, and with complete independence and safety. And you need not bother with any outside assistance whatsoever. The beauty of this is that it is not a preset syringe, and the doses, or ratio of doses, if you're on 2 insulins, can be adjusted by the user at will without anyone having to overlook or reset the syringe. Diabetic Association in London and the RNIB have been interested and have given much help. They have also taken it up, and though we've had a lot of trouble in different designing difficulties and machining difficulties, we have at last perfected a prototype, of which 12 more are now in the process of being made, and the Diabetic Association will be distributing these for field trials under strict supervision before further advancements are made to the Ministry of Health for this to be manufactured. So we are moving, though it is very slow. Incidentally, the prototype which I took out for it has proved more costly than I first anticipated, and it's like a bottomless pit. You still keep on chucking into the coffer, and it swallows them up like a gnat or like a gremlin. And I'm beginning to wish now I'd never taken out a patent at all, because I still haven't finished coughing up, and I just haven't got the money to do it. In fact, now I'm worse off than ever I was, with that dear old mum's pension to help out. Anyway, that's another problem. I understand too that you have to save your coppers to get a new tape recorder, but it'll be fine fun if you can get one, because as I said a minute ago, Braille is difficult, and also it's noisy and it gets on my nerves. And I mentioned that the walls are rather thin, and I think it annoys the neighbours. So I'd much rather send to you either by tape or Perhaps if you can read my longhand writing, I'll try and write in longhand. But I'll wait for you to comment upon that. And then I'll have to have a pause to get my breath and see how the tape's going. Ah yes, we're nearly running out, but before I close, many thanks for the Braille books, Margaret. I had it in mind to send the duplicate ones to a friend living in Hertfordshire, but strangely enough, this morning I had a letter from his brother to tell me that he'd passed away. So I shall have to hang on to them until I find another outlet. Incidentally, hymn books in Braille are already in our church. There's 12 volumes to the Methodist Book of Hymns, and by the time I've found the first volume, let alone the hymn, they've finished. So I don't bother with them. I'm not quick enough to be able to take advantage of Braille hymn books. Now the tape is coming pretty close to the end, so I think I'd better finish, though I've still quite a lot more to tell you, but I'll wait until I can do another tape to send to you. But cheerio, Margaret, for now. God bless you and your mother. Keep smiling. I hope that everything is going as you wish, and I hope that you're still receiving strength. I'm still remembering you before the Lord in my quiet times, and I hope that you'll keep me posted with all that's going on, particularly your mother's condition. And if it's not too late, Margaret, I wish you every blessing of strength and peace for the 70s, both for you and for all your loved ones and dear ones. Also, I wish you success in your work and trust that you'll be given health and strength to continue. Bye-bye for now. God bless you, and peace be with you always. From Geoff.
Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And whither I go, ye know, and the way ye know. Thomas saith unto him, Lord, we know not whither thou goest, and how can we know the way? Jesus saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. If ye had known me, ye should have known my Father also. And from henceforth ye know him, and have seen him. Philip saith unto him, Lord, show us the Father, and it sufficeth us. Jesus saith unto him, Have I been so long time with you, and yet hast thou not known me, Philip? He that hath seen me hath seen the Father.